Welcome back to the channel of the Windsurf Coach. This time I'm gonna take you along on one of my regular training missions. Wind is 35 knots, that means small slalom gear, and I'm just gonna have some fun. Let's quickly load up the car and let's go. Alright, the wind is gusting up to 35 knots. This is absolutely the maximum that I can handle with my 5.2 and my 90-liter slalom board. But I'm gonna try to squeeze a slalom session out of these conditions. Are you gonna tag along for the ride? I must say conditions like these are pretty challenging, but hey, that makes it a lot of fun. After the first few meters I realize I'm in for a bumpy ride today. Once the wind kicks in, you can feel the adrenaline rush and you can feel you're going faster and faster. I like it! In these conditions I set up for control. That means that I have my boom slightly lower, my harness lines longer, and I will use the lower clue. As it's quite choppy, I try to find a little flat spot to make my jibes. I must say my setup works pretty well and my gear is really flying. At times the wind is so strong that I wait for the wind to back off a bit before I make my jibes. This summer I spent quite some time on the foils, so wind foiling, wing foiling, a lot of fun when the wind isn't too strong. But as the wind really kicks in, the feeling of just flying over the water at high speeds, skipping over the chop, is next to none. Man, I can do this for hours. In the gusts the wind is so strong that it's hard to control your tail rides and you are literally flying on the fin. The fin is such an undervalued part of your equipment, but it's really so important. It will make sure you can fly over the chop in full control. A lack of board control in these conditions could mean you're using the wrong fin. How I would rate my ride? I just love it. Without my safety leash on my GoPro, I would have lost my GoPro today for sure. Due to all the vibrations, the GoPro large tube mount had come loose and my GoPro Max was just dangling on that safety leash. Luckily my attention was drawn to the strange sound on the back of my boom, so I could secure the GoPro to my boom again and head back as the rubber insert that holds the GoPro mount in place was gone. That means going back as gently as possible and taking the scenic route, as I couldn't get the GoPro really fixed to the boom, so it was twisting and turning and I didn't want to damage the lenses. I'm now heading for an area which is sheltered by a dam. That means no more waves. In this wind direction I can avoid almost all waves and head directly back to the car, which is really convenient given the circumstances. After 2 hours of sailing I'm pretty dead beat anyway, so it's a good time to call it a day. Wow, that was quite a nice session. 35 knots on slalom gear. I love it. It's been quite a while since I've been sailing on the fin. I've done a lot of wing foiling and wind foiling as the wind was pretty light this summer, but it's great to be back on the fin again. It's amazing how fast this gear is. I must say I was pretty amazed by how much fun it was sailing in 35 knots on slalom gear. I usually choose my bump and jump setup for conditions like these, but today with the perfect tuned 90 liters 5.2 it was really perfect. It just goes to show how much more control you get by lowering your clue from the upper to the lower clue eyelet. It really helps a lot. I do hope you liked this video about my training session on slalom gear in 35 knots of wind. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and of course don't forget to subscribe to the channel of the Windsurf Coach so you don't have to miss out on any of the action. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time. See you on the water.